Hello and welcome to The Contentious Life. I'm Sam P and joining me is Sam G.
I'm Sam G, and the G doesn't stand for gay because I'm the not gay one.
Yeah, that's kind of confusing, isn't it? Because I'd automatically assume that too. But yeah, welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. Just a quick thing I want to mention is please get in contact with us. It gets more hilarious if you hate on us than it does if you compliment us, because our egos are already pretty rubbed up and we're quite bigoted as it is.
And I think, it's all about the negatives, isn't it? I mean, I think we both relish more slagging off things. We both relish our overrated topics, and we want to hear about your hatred of us more than your like of us.
And we'll make fun of you, yeah. So if you want to get in contact, it's contact@thecontentiouslife.co.uk. You will notice we're going to throw out quite a few different email addresses every now and again, and they're all active, so you can email us. One particular one we had the one week was bigotedtwats@thecontentiouslife.co.uk. Yep. So if you really hate us, email us on that and we'll get back to you. We'll give you a shout out. Maybe even get you on the phone live. How good would that be?
Oh my God, have we got the technology for that? We'll find a way, even if it's just putting a microphone up to speakerphone.
Yeah, we'll do it, man. We'll do it. Yeah, so let's kick us off. Sam's going to kick us off now. You're doing something which is an overrated. Overrated, yeah. And I think we're going to like this one.
I'm going to put loads of reverb on that later.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea.
Do my harmony thing.
Can mine have a bit of delay?
Yes.
You'll notice this in the post-production. Anyway, what is your overrated, Sam?
Oh, this is a good one of mine, and I got notes coming out of my ass.
Okay, so it must be a good one. Hang on, is it world poverty? Is it childhood cancer? What is it? What is it, Sam?
Worse.
What is it?
It's pets that aren't cats or dogs.
Okay, then. So all you hamster lovers are going to love this.
It's exactly the sort of thing I'm on about. I mean, I'm not really talking about horses, but horses are more of a tool than a pet, aren't they, really?
Yeah.
And the same goes for oxen and...
Would you call oxen a pet? I wouldn't.
No, farm animals and horses, even if you ride them and if you enjoy their company, they're still more of a utility, aren't they?
Yeah, a social status.
Animals make excellent tools.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about specifically animals you've got to keep in some kind of box or enclosure or tank. What the fuck?
So I'm assuming you go around to people's houses and see these caged, boxed, fish tanked up animals. And what goals you about it?
For one thing, I'd like to say there's no ethical basis to this argument whatsoever. I couldn't give a shit about their plight.
I'm surprised.
They're probably too stupid to care that they live in a box. In fact, if they were living in the wild, they'd probably be living in a smaller box. They're lucky that a human, for whatever reason, has taken pity upon them and likes the fact that maybe this animal goes with their curtains or something, and they're lucky that some human being has had that aesthetic sense, and now they have an even bigger box or something to live in, one where they don't risk being eaten by some other superior animal.
Yeah, like a sloth.
So yeah, I'm talking about things like rats, mice, gerbils, snakes, lizards, geckos, fish, and newts. I mean, do people keep newts as pets?
I don't know, but if I was going to go for a pet, I probably wouldn't keep a newt. They're not that good.
I know, they're more just like a fucking cum stain with a vague sense of intelligence, aren't they?
Yeah, I think that's about right.
And even rabbits to some extent. I mean, they're a bit more, they're kind of like the anti-cat, if you will. They're a bit more, I don't know, likable than those small weird things, but, they're still a bit shit, aren't they?
Yeah. So if you was a parent now and your daughter said to you, I'm assuming it's a girl, your daughter said to you, Daddy, I really want a hamster. How would you handle it? Would you be like, no, we're getting a dog?
Well, I'd say you have to clean the cage first, and I'd maybe take them to someone's house who has these animals, and I'd just, make sure they let the cage go a bit fruity, because some people, they neglect these animals as well. They don't clean out the cage as often as they ought to. So I'd go around the house, and I'd say, smell that, have a sniff. Gertrude, or whatever your name is.
Find your friend with the nastiest hamster which will bite.
Oh, yeah.
Put your finger in the cage, love. Go on. He's lovely.
And then have a sniff. And see, multiply those two things together, square them, and remember...
Divide by the square root, and then, you come up with...
What are you on about?
I don't know.
Sorry. But yeah, I'd say, see this cage, see this newspaper and sawdust that's caked in piss and shit, and see those those things, they look like sort of raisins you will be cleaning those up every day or 2 days or whatever, yeah? I won't touch it. And if I have to, I'll kick the thing out the window.
We'll flush it.
But yeah, they're crap pets, aren't they? They are more like ornaments. They are stupid.
You don't get much enjoyment from them in the sense of a lap cat or a dog.
No, exactly. I mean, most of them you can't even let out their cage. I mean, when I was a kid, I had a mouse and it chewed through its cardboard box and then it fucking escaped, and that's the last we ever saw of it.
Oh, it's probably a mutant in the sewers now or something.
Probably now, but see what I mean? They're you can't really have a relationship with it like you can with a dog, and even to an extent a cat. I mean, a cat, it's more of a respect thing. It's like, I don't really like you, but you don't really like me, but you feed me and I think you're cute.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
But you respect a cat. They have grace and charm and elegance, and the way they move.
They will sit in your lap and be stroked.
Yeah, that's true. And dogs, dogs are a proper friend, I think. You can bond with them. But and even a cat to an extent. I cried like a baby when my cat got run over.
Oh,
and he was more like a dog cat. You get dog cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. He was a dog cat.
Oh.
He'd be there on the mattress in our student house while everyone was smoking a bong. Just lying there. We'd go out into the car for a chat, and he'd come like in through the window onto the parcel shelf, just hang out with us.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he'd follow us all around. He was great. But anyway, his name was Dave. These pets, you can't just leave them wander around the house, can you? Again, they'll either escape or they'll hurt someone.
And they will head for the nearest hole in a wall, skirting anything, or bed, go inside a sofa. They will hide. Yeah. They will go for something. And you'll end up ripping the whole house apart.
I know, exactly. Who wants that shit, innit? That's a good point, actually. These pets, pretty much all these pets I mentioned, apart from fish, because it doesn't really apply, they will run away from you at the first available opportunity.
They fucking hate you, kids.
They hate you. They fucking hate you.
They do.
Or they don't even know you exist, because they don't even know
They don't care.
No. And I say glorified ornaments, the maintenance, the cage, the constantly cleaning out the bedding. And what is the reward, really?
Yeah. It's the effort as well. Because with a cat and dog, I know you got to walk a dog, but that's kind of like enjoyment in itself, walking, if you like walking. Yeah. But all you got to do is throw food down and that's it. You don't have to clean things out all the time, you know? And with a hamster, there is nothing you get from it love-wise. No. But you have to put a lot of effort in every 3 days, every 5 days, depending on how smelly it gets, to literally tear it all apart and put it all back together again.
Yeah.
I can't be arsed with that shit.
And buying all that plastic tube shit.
Yeah, I remember those.
Or just some bog roll, kitchen roll if they're lucky.
Yeah.
Nice and long.
I like a lengthy one. Oh!
Right, anyway, gay innuendos aside, what else have I written on my piece of paper here? Oh, look at that, for theatrical effect,
what's the word for that? I feel like we should have a board here with broken glass on it. We can crunch it with a brick to make walking on glass noises. Radio 4 style.
On broken glass. Sorry,
but Radio 4 style, like a little drama.
Foley
Let
artiste.
me just get my pen.
Oh wow!
I wonder if anyone heard that. But anyway, is there anything left on your piece of paper of doom?
We covered too high maintenance. Yes. Enclosure gets smelly, boring, expensive, and pointless. I've written. Fish, especially. I mean, you can at least pretend a gerbil or a lizard like you. You can have it on your lap now and again, But what can you do? You can't do that with a fish. You just got to look at it. And again, the water just gets so bad. That stuff. The stuff that sinks to the bottom, the mix of rotting food and fish shit and piss. It's just like a weird sludge. And when you have to clean that tank out, oh my God. I said to my sister once, just for a joke, as the fish tank was being cleaned out, if someone walked in with a gun now and put it to your head and said, you have to either eat that sludge or die, she said, I'd die. I'd let him shoot me. And I think she was being deadly serious, to be honest. And most of these creatures, they're usually just like vermin, aren't they, really? Varmin.
They are vermin in other countries. They are. Guinea pigs are vermin.
Yeah, they do. They'll eat your food and run away from you. What kind of pet is that?
Yeah.
I mean, a dog will eat your food, but at least it'll, be your friend and probably die to protect you.
Yeah, it would. It would.
It'll eat your hot dog, but fuck me, it'll jump in front of a bus for you.
Or there's a video going around on Facebook at the minute of a dog saving a man who pretended to drown. He pretended to drown. His dog actually grabs him by the wrist and drags him off the side.
Did he do that to test the dog's mettle?
Yeah. He was testing the dog's emotional response.
Really?
Yeah. But the dog, as soon as he saw his owner thrashing in the water, he literally dived straight in there.
They're good swimmers, dogs, aren't they? And apparently so are horses.
My dog's a bit of a fairy, though. He doesn't like going in the water past his chest.
Yeah.
He just paddles and that's it.
Oh, fair enough. That's doggy paddle, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, rats as well, particularly. Really short lifespan, and apparently they succumb to cancer within a year of their life or something.
Yeah, and I had a couple of friends with rats, and they get really unwell in quite horrible ways, that they bleed out of various orifices, their breathing goes weird, and then they have a stroke and die. It's not a good thing to view every year or two, is it?
No, and they just become this, cancerous lump of mashed potato or something, don't they?
They're just an experiment in a petri dish gone wrong, and you can't love it. You can't love it. And their fur falls out at some point as well. They get a problem with
from the chemo
gland. Yeah.
Well, I don't mean, obviously, they probably test chemo on rats, but they don't give it to them out of benevolence.
No, I know.
And yes, like things like snakes or reptiles as well. I mean, snakes are kind of cool. They, get it out, put it around your neck and go, oh, look, they're not as slimy as I once thought they used to be when I was a kid.
But they want to kill you as well.
Most of them do, especially them boa constrictors,
And the pythons, yeah, they
they'll
all want
fucking
to kill
strangle you or they'll bite you.
If they could overpower you, if they were big enough and they were hungry, they would. They wouldn't give a shit.
But to be fair, you can say that about a cat as well. I think a cat would. A cat would do what a tiger does if it was a size of a tiger.
People have tigers for pets. I've seen it. In India.
True, actually, yeah. You domesticate a tiger.
They might turn on you eventually, like in the sense of a dog would. But they would be loyal if you brought it up with them. Whereas a snake, I don't think a snake you can be loyal. A snake is unloyal.
No, a snake is disloyal. Yeah. Sack the snake for being unloyal, disloyal, and enjoying fun in a way that precludes...
excludes
its owner.
Yeah.
Or eating it.
Yeah, there's a nice little quote for you there. If you want to get back to us where that quote is from, you can at quotedrop@thecontentiouslife.co.uk.
Anal dirge prat.
Ooh!
Is an anagram of it. Like we've given it away now anyway. But yeah, like I say, reptiles and all that, like I say, snakes, they are kind of cool. But again, the effort put in and the money put in outweighs it when they are all just glorified ornaments. And I genuinely believe that. And if somebody wants to show me their snake or their hamster, I'll make all the right noises, but I'm secretly thinking, why the fuck are you wasting your money on this shit? Get a dog, dick.
You would make a nice handbag.
Yeah, make a nice handbag.
A nice pair of shoes.
Or, a nice pair of winter gloves in the case of a rat or a gerbil. Or a newt. Nothing. Maybe put it in a blender and put it in your protein shake.
I bet it's high in protein.
I bet it is.
Newt. Or you can make a spell, which is used a lot of newts.
Oh, yeah, and, hubble bubble, toil and trouble.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I want some bubblegum. Hubba bubba.
Oh, yeah. Remember the Hubba Bubba you used to get, which was bright green? It was lime green, and it tasted as chemically as it looked.
I like that.
Good.
I like that
nice.
Really sort of fake chemically apple flavour. You know the one?
That's the one. It was apple, wasn't it?
Yeah, I like fake chemical apple. And it's the stuff they put in Copperberg, and they try to claim it's some sort of high-class drink.
I know, and really, it's just a grown-up...
Alcopop.
Yeah.
Implying alcopops for children.
Well, that's what they are, and they supply them to 16 to 18-year-olds in clubs and pubs.
Oh, of course, yeah. I remember when I was 18, going to Annabelle's on Stowe Hill and drinking my first hooches. Actually, no, it wasn't my first ones. My first one, my dad was by me in the Ship Inn in Killeen.
Really?
Again, yeah, no, I was about 15 then. Got hammered, fucking hell. But that's what they're for.
You've been wrecked, Ship Inn in Killeen. We know that you supply to underage. We will be doing a bust on you before long. Well,
to be fair, it is a restaurant and I was over the age. You know when there's that weird grey area if you're in a restaurant and you're between 14 and 16 or something? And you if you're in a restaurant and you are a virgin, but you have changed your pants last Sunday, you're able to drink half a lager with a dash of orange juice in it. Or mead. Or something like that. I'm referring to that in-betweeners thing now, aren't I? But going back to pets, at least rabbits, like I say, they're kind of, you can have them run about the house like a cat, can you, a bit?
You can have a house rabbit.
Even though a cat might kill it, but a rabbit might kick it off. Rabbits are good kickers and they can look after themselves better than you might think.
They do.
But at least you can eat a rabbit. You can't eat a rat or a mouse or a gerbil or a snake or a lizard or a gecko.
They eat guinea pig in South America.
Do they?
Takeaway style. In a takeaway box, you can have guinea pig.
Interesting. And I was going to say you can't eat fish, but you can eat fish, obviously, famously. But none of these ones. They're probably most likely poisonous, anyway, the kind of ones. The better looking they are, the more ornamentesque these fish are, the more likely they are to poison you, I think, if you eat them.
Fish.
Yeah, that one. And... again, I keep referring to newts because I keep seeing it on my list. Don't even know why I put that on there because it's like it's the runt of an already shit litter, isn't it?
Yeah,
really.
Yeah.
Newts. I mean, what the fuck?
I know.
It's like tadpoles, minnows.
They are the scrape in the barrel of the genetic diversity, aren't they?
Yeah, really. It's like if you're over 8, why even bother? You're a loser.
Yeah.
And anyway, that's my point. Email us on vermin@thecontentiouslife.co.uk if you have anything to say about crap pets.
I've got a lot of email addresses to set up.
Yes, you have.
Okay, moving swiftly on. It's not often we get off our soapbox and praise something, so I would like to do that right now. I would like to serve as a bastion to a really underrated...
Who's Sebastian? Sorry.
It's because I'm gay.
I took the wind right at your sail then, didn't I?
Yeah, I was in full stride, but don't worry, I'll get back into it. The Bastion, which is the public library.
Who's Sebastian?
You
Sorry.
cunt.
Right, I won't do it again.
the Bastion, which is the public library.
Who's Sebastian?
You
Sorry.
cunt.
Right, I won't do it again.
The Bastion, which is the public library.
Who's Sebastian?
You
Sorry.
cunt.
Right, I won't do it again.
The Bastion, which is the public library.
Who's Sebastian?
You
Sorry.
cunt.
Right, I won't do it again.
We'll have to have a C-bomb buzzer.
Hmm.
Because, it's not that offensive. Get over it. But, yeah, the public library, I think, is really underrated. And
Yeah, I
public
agree.
libraries in Britain are closing down quite rapidly, as far as I can see it, with cuts to public funding, due to probably underuse. People don't use them as they should. They don't realise what they've got in their community with a local library.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm the same. I mean, I know they exist in principle, but I never think to go. Even though I know every time I go there, I usually just use the internet or to photocopy something. I think, fuck me, look at all these books. Why don't I come here more often?
Yeah.
But then as soon as I leave, I forget about it again. And I feel bad about that.
Do you know what I make a point of doing?
What?
If I got a lot of written work to do and paperwork, I will do it in a library.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
Quiet
because
zone.
it is so quiet, got internet and stuff, but it's just a nice environment. Libraries, and this is a quote of someone I was listening to on Radio 4, is a sanctuary. It's a sanctuary, it's a place of peace, of literal peace, but a place of intellectual peace, and a place where you cannot be judged for thinking what you want to think because you're in your own little world. You can read what you want to read, and it's okay to read it because it's in the library,
Wow, yeah.
I want to talk about this program I listened to on Radio 4, which I just mentioned, which looked at it was actually a civil war which broke out because a sort of religious faction broke away from the main government and burnt down a library, and the library served as sort of a community hub where people would get together. It was a sort of meeting place for a lot of other interest groups for children, for teenagers and for adults,
Yeah, that's true. A library's more than just books these days, isn't it? It's like everything else.
Yeah, and in places where you haven't got as many amazing pieces of technology as we've got in this country, where you are limited to the things you can do for fun, you will use a library a lot more,
Yeah.
You will go there to hang out, you will go there to read books, because you really value what a book is, and you really value what not having a book is like.
Or, in the case of myself, I used to go there an awful lot when I forgot to pay the internet bill and we got cut off the internet.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And people should use it. Do you know what I mean? And these people who their library was burnt down, they had a day of mourning, People couldn't believe it. They were in tears.
Really?
They were really heartbroken over it because there was a piece of they called it a piece of our culture.
No internet, I know.
I know.
Sucks.
It would be devastating, wouldn't it? With
I'm
no
only
internet.
joking.
You can't watch Pornhub at home.
But going back to
not
that,
in Uganda anyway.
Just to be humorous for a second before you go back to being serious,
Yeah.
About the library internet thing, I stopped doing that once I realised my local pub had free Wi-Fi. So I just started taking my laptop to the pub and drinking twice as much. And that's a true story, but now you can go back to being all sad and...
Sad. Well, it is sad. It is a sad story about the library which was burned down.
No, it is. It is.
And it is depressing. It shows what mankind does because the people who burnt it down knew that knowledge is a gateway to freedom.
Yeah.
And having free expression as you can in a library goes against what they want, which is repression, And that's why it was burnt down. But that's why I think, turning it on its head, in this country, we should really value our libraries because they are just those things. We're places where we can be ourselves. We're places where we can meet, and they do have interest groups which meet at libraries, But there's a place as well where you can do your work. If you want to do schoolwork, you don't have to do it in your noisy house where you can get distractions. Your mum's calling you all the time. Do this, do that. Because that's really annoying, isn't it, when you're trying to do a piece of work and they don't appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah.
And they're constantly saying, will you do this, will you do that?
Just
fuck off to your local library. Just fuck off your local library and just sit there for hours.
I've never thought about going to a library just to be there, just to get away from everything else. To have an environment where you're free to just focus,
I can have a mind which goes like a million mile an hour sometimes, and I find a library puts a cap on it, and I can just sit in a library and relax.
Like,
I'll just pick a random book off the shelf, choose one, and just start reading it for the pleasure's sake.
That's a good idea. I mean, we could go and we could take this laptop to the library and go and edit this show there if we wanted, couldn't we?
Could, as long as we kept it to hushed tones.
Yeah, headphones only, of course. Yes.
Yeah.
But never thought about it like that before. I mean, that's a really good point.
And one thing which I think. One reason I know libraries are failing is because they don't take in much money from the public. It's all government funded, state funded, which is why it's being cut. But I think if people could appreciate it more, then maybe like a paid membership scheme would be a good idea.
Or maybe
it would be a good way of keeping our libraries around.
Maybe they could just forget, quote unquote, to return their book on time. So they would be deliberately incurring fines just to fund the library a bit more.
Well, funnily enough, I put a bit of a moan Facebook status up going against something I said in the last episode. I put a moan status up about the fact I had incurred £27 of charge charges with my local library for having 8 books out. But to be fair, I did miss the letters they sent out, and I didn't mind paying it in the end because I did pay it, and I thought to myself, it's going to a good cause, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? There are people who really going to benefit from this more than even I do. People who do need it. I think it is taken for granted. I think people do know the power of a library, like a government, but our government, for instance, doesn't realise quite how powerful libraries can be. And it's only when they're gone we'll actually see a decrease in maybe people, kids doing their work, doing their homework, reading up, getting interested in the things they want to do later on in life, And I think it's going to be a sad day when all our local libraries are really shut down and we're down to the bare minimum.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, we'll miss them when we're gone, won't we?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as far as I know, my local one's still open, Maindy Library. I think it was it was a polling station last time, so I think it is open, must be open.
Well, Newport's got a lot of libraries. I didn't realise. It's got 8 or 9 libraries all dotted around. Then it's got the massive library in the centre of town, which has been renovated recently, and it's absolutely fantastic. Do you know what I mean? I'm used to quite a small library in Blenavon, but a slightly larger one in Cwmbran. But there's nothing like you've got in Newport, And it is such a fantastic service. Multiple floors on there. There's the very top floor, which is reference only. It's just, it's magical. It is magical to someone who loves knowledge and books. It is a magical place.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I used to be all like that, but I don't know, I've lost something. I've become jaded now. Just like I say, the library just isn't on my radar as much as it ought to be. Although I do like to go into charity shops and buy random books for cheap.
Yeah, so, I get a thrill from that. Finding a really good book I wanted for a long time and getting it for 50p. It's like, yes, I'm winning.
Like the other episode we did about maths. I brought up a book because it's history of mathematics.
Yeah.
That was one of my charity shop finds.
Oh, that's a good find.
It's a really fun book. It's like it's more breadth than depth, but it's an overview.
Interesting. That's brought me to an end about libraries.
Has it?
I've said what I wanted to say. I hope I've convinced you to just drop into your local library because you can. Not because you should, but because you can. You have got the choice and you can go there, and it's a peaceful experience. It's a nice experience,
Exercise my right.
Exercise your right, otherwise you might lose it. You never know. And a lot of people have lost their right because libraries are closing down.
I mean, women fought and died for my right to... No, that's something else, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us. I think that was another spiffing episode. What do you think, Sam?
I think it was spliffing.
Spliffing. Ooh, yeah. So if you want to email us at drugsreference@thecontentiouslife.co.uk and we'll get back to you, maybe give you a shout out next time.
And as always with these email addresses, no underscores or dashes, just all one word.
All one word, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, thank you for joining us. See you next time.